You call yourself a serial entrepreneur. Can you talk about some of the wins that you've had and some of the failures and what you've learned from it?
Yeah, how much time do we have? Because it's interesting, and as we were getting started, I joked with you that you don't really learn much from wins. I don't think. You enjoy them, but you don't learn much from them. I started out going to school for engineering. I thought I was going to be a mechanical engineer, which would have been such a mistake for me, right? I'm in the people business, and I love being in the people business. But while going to school, I was lucky enough to get an internship at Honeywell in the engineering department, and it confirmed almost instantly for me, this is not what I want to do. So after about a year of still trying to make that stick, I went into my boss, resigned, and I told him I was going to leave and jump into a brand new startup with a college roommate. And his advice to me was, that sounds like it's going to fail. And he was right. It did. But it took us 3 years to fail. And we learned so much about trying to build a business from scratch. Met some amazing contacts, learned a lot of things about what to do and what not to do so that I could turn around and start another business a second time around where a lot of that learning had been done. And it was actually, of all things, in the food business. A good friend of mine had just started, maybe 2 months in, a food business with two partners that owned a very large pizza company. And this was an Italian friend named Tino, and we launched Tino's Inc. And it was to make Italian panzerottis. And we didn't know anything about the food business. He was a professional soccer player. And I had come out of the background of technology, actually computer sales for a while. And we dove into that. We took it from 0 to $2.5 million. We raised $1 million in venture capital. We sold it to Schwann's. We learned how not to cut deals with venture capital. They made most of the money. But again, you could argue that was sort of a win and a failure at the same time. We learned so much from that. It allowed me to get back into the technology business and build benchmark computer learning, which I did for 12 years, and that was just a rocket in terms of growth and success from 91 to actually December 31st of 1999. And on the morning of January 1st, Y2K, our orders just began to cancel. Our business dropped off almost by half. We had layoffs. We'd never had anything like that happen before. So it went from this amazing level of success to we're just fighting to survive. And probably in that survival mode, 2000, 2001, is where I learned the most. I kind of learned what I'm made up of. I mean, I had a lot of mornings at 4 a.m. and just go for a jog. So, because I was the guy who had to walk into the business and tell everybody everything was going to be okay. And I had no idea if everything was going to be okay. I mean, it was really probably the most painful time in business I think I've had. But we were approached by our largest competitor, and we thought they would buy us. They were owned by a billion-dollar company, and it turned out they were actually, the billion-dollar company was selling that competitor. And we turned around and found a way to buy them. And suddenly our business doubled in revenues, profitable again almost overnight. And I woke up the next day and thought, you know what, almost rich, almost poor, here we go again. I better decide what I really want to do. So it was kind of like me taking my own medicine from the book and recognizing that because it could go either way, I should do something I love every single day. And that took me out of technology and into this people business.